In today's video, we're going to be running through the ultimate draft ahead of Matchday 11. Now, before we dive into today's video, of course, if you do enjoy any of the content that you see on the channel, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, as we are trying to hit 12,500 subscribers by the end of the season, and it is only possible with your guys' amazing support. And of course, if you do want to see more UCL content, make sure you're hitting that like button, subscribing, and letting me know in the comments section. I thought first off we would take a look at the draw and obviously how it is progressing, because we do have unlimited transfers right now, and we do kind of want to hedge our bets in certain ways to obviously target certain teams, with of course as having limited transfers as we do progress through the next few rounds. We don't have, of course, any more ultimate transfers, and with my team, I don't have a wild card, so I've got to be a little bit kind of more, I would say, kind of biased to certain teams and not to others as well, and kind of, you know, like I said, hedge my bets in certain areas. So the left-hand side of the draw is looking extremely difficult, and I really would not like to call which way a few of those ties are going to go. I think Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, you probably would have Madrid as favourite, but still going to be an extremely close game. Arsenal will probably progress, but then a tough tie against either Atleti or, of course, Real is going to be super difficult. Moving on to the top part of that bracket, PSG, Liverpool, you probably have Liverpool as the favourites, given the form that they've shown this season, not only within the Premier League, but also with the Champions League. But PSG have looked a lot better and obviously have been very dominant in France. Should be an easy quarter-final tie with either Villa or Bruges, you would imagine. On the other side of the draw, though, that feels where, you know, I would say it opens up. It's quite open, to be honest. Barcelona should beat Benfica. Dortmund should beat Lille. Bayern, I don't really know which way to call it. You probably would say Inter get through against Feyenoord, right? So I think we're probably better hedging more towards this right-hand side, because I feel like there's teams with more kind of lopsided matchups, rather on the other side where it seems a little bit more difficult to predict. However, we are still going to have a few players from that side to, of course, mean that if, you know, any shocks happen on the other side, we're still in a pretty decent place. Obviously, I spoke about the transfers that we do get. I obviously wanted to highlight that, how many transfers we get, how many players we are able to select from each side. So, of course, for the round of 16, it's exactly the same as the knockout playoff rounds in terms of players per club. It is just 4. Of course, as we progress, it goes to 5, 6, and then 8 finally. In terms of the transfers that we get, I've accidentally put the same one on twice. Wonderful stuff. But in terms of the transfers we get 4 in between the next round and this round, and then we get 3. So from the second rounds of the match day, we get 3 transfers. I'll flash it up on screen. I accidentally put the wrong screenshot on this one, but yeah, we'll get 3 transfers in between both round of 16 games. Then we get 4 transfers to play with following that as well. So not too much wiggle room, especially, like I said, if some of the teams that we do go for do, of course, fall out of the tournament. We might obviously be in a position where we do have to, of course, potentially look at some minuses as we go on. So I did want to just make you aware of that, but that's enough waffle. Let's head on into my ultimate draft ahead of match day 11. Wasting no time, let's dive into the team selection then ahead of match day 11. We're going to start off first with our goalkeepers. We've gone for Raya and Sommer. I really like this rotating goalkeeper pair, to be honest. Obviously, Arsenal, 5 clean sheets so far in the tournament. They've also been very good in the Premier League in terms of their clean sheet numbers, and in terms of their expected goals conceded numbers as well, being one of the best teams in that metric for the Premier League this season. So I'm feeling very confident about that one. Of course, Jan Sommer as well. Inter have been the best defence in this tournament. Kept 7 clean sheets in 8 games, which is absolutely ridiculous. Again, a very favourable tie with them of Feyenoord. So I do feel quite bullish and quite confident that they should be able to pick up potentially at least 1 clean sheet in the round of 16. Heading into our back line, again, we're going to have De Vrij. He has got 50 ball recoveries so far, and in his kind of 6 games that he played within the UCL, he's only managed to concede 1 goal during that period. Again, building on further, cementing what we spoke about with Jan Sommer being a very solid and consistent defence so far in the Champions League have into this season. Obviously, Gabriel also kind of moulds with David Raya as well. We're targeting those strong defences. Our 2 defenders we've got in there definitely have threat from set pieces and definitely have the ball recovery abilities as well to pick up those additional points points and hopefully edge them towards maybe a few Man of the Match awards as well. Schlotterbeck, we all know what he's about. 61 ball recoveries. That is the main reason he's in here. It is a very, very favourable tie for Dortmund against Lille. However, this season, Dortmund, especially in the Bundesliga, have been very, very shaky. But I think that could be one of their main benefits, is the fact that they are going to pretty much have to go gun-ho in the Champions League, because it is looking like top four isn't really going to be a possibility within the league this season. So I think their shift is going to be solely focused on the Champions League. And I think Schlotterbeck, of course, with his insane amount of ball recoveries, could be a fantastic option to go for. As you can see on the bench, we've got Hakimi and Grimaldo. Kind of switching away. Obviously, the three defenders we've got starting there are more ball recovery based. Hakimi and Grimaldo are more attacking based. Of course, Hakimi so far in the Champions League, 5 assists, 1 goal, still 48 ball recoveries though, which is a pretty decent amount. However, he has played 2 more additional games than, of course, De Vrij and Grimaldo. De Vrij, Gabriel and Grimaldo, sorry. And Grimaldo as well, 7 goal involvements so far this season in the Bundesliga. 22 games played. It's pretty good going. Obviously, it's not going to be an easy fixture against Bayern. That is probably why he's on the bench right now. But as you can see, if of course we do need to bring him in, he is there ready and available. Let's move on then. Let's head into our midfield. It's not been the best season for Adeyemi, but I do have a soft spot for him. I had him for his UCL hat-trick against Celtic, and again, his Champions League campaign hasn't also been great. I think he could be one of the players that is of course up for grabs in terms of this first draft. He has got 5 goal involvement so far this season, but I think when we get to the team selection, if somebody does maybe outline a better midfielder to go for, or maybe when I'm doing my research and I find an even better one, then I think his head could be on the chopping block. I'm not 100% convinced by him so far, but it's a decent fixture. He's looked pretty good. I obviously had that soft spot with him getting me that hat trick, but still, like I said, yeah, not quite there. Moving on to Rafinha. He is currently the 3rd highest scoring player in the UCL so far this season. 8 goals, 5 assists. Absolutely smashing it. I think Barca have got a really, really good, strong opportunity of going all the way this season, to be honest. And I think Rafinha is going to be one of those players that is going to be, you know, definitely part of that team and definitely a big part of why they potentially do go and make the final. I wanted a cheap midfielder. Rodgers kind of just fit that bill, to be honest. Bruges, yeah, I could maybe take a punt on Marcus Rashford, who started his Aston Villa career pretty well. However, I do think we're just going to go for Morgan Rodgers. I do feel he's a lot more nailed in terms of his overall position, and I'm just not 100% convinced that Rashford starts both games. So we're going to go with Rodgers. He's the cheap option, but he probably will swap out or maybe remain on the bench for the second legs as well. Mohamed Salah is in here because he's just having an incredible season. 25 goals, 17 assists so far this season in the Premier League is ridiculous. Ballon d'Or worthy, and again, it's not the easiest game, but if they get through PSG or Bruges, I really, really want Mohamed Salah. Also offers us a decent captaincy option for the 5th of February as well. That is why we have selected him. And obviously on a bench, we do have Dembele, 7 goal involvement so far in the UCL, and it's been one of his most prolific seasons ever as a professional football out in there as well. And again, just wanted another player on the 5th that does, of course, have that potential to go off big, and I feel like Dembele is one of those players. Moving into our front line, we've of course got the UCL's top goal scoring player. It is going to be Guirassy, 13 goal involvement so far, a penalty taker. What more could you ask for? This guy is just golden. He genuinely is golden. I know he missed the last one, but he'll still probably be on penalties for me. So yeah, I think Guirassy's probably got to be in most people's teams. So is this guy for me. It is going to be Kylian Mbappe, starting to look really, really warm in the Champions League. I feel that Manchester City hat-trick was kind of the shining light of his Real Madrid career so far, and I think that's where he's starting to really make himself. And I think as well he could be a great captaincy option, of course, for that fixture on the 4th. I think with my team selection video, I am going to look at his head-to-head record so far this season against Atleti. If it's not looking great, we might potentially switch that armband over to Guirassy. Then our final player, it is going to be Lewandowski, the 3rd highest scoring player in the UCL history. He's absolutely smashing it, hit over the 100-goal mark this season. 9 goals so far for him this season as well on penalties, and like I said, I do really fancy Barcelona to go extremely far and deep into this tournament, and I think Rafinha and Lewandowski are their 2 main talisman for me of their side, and why I want both of them. Let me know what you think of my first draft or my ultimate draft down in the comment section below, and if you've got any questions about your team, get them in as well. Thank you very much for watching. Like, subscribe, you know the drill by now.